So it's been about 5 weeks since my last video about taking rosemary cuttings, and this is what we did that day. These are those exact same ones. And they're looking really, really good and healthy. And like I said in that past video, a good way to tell whether or not they've taken is to give them a little tug and to see if you can pull them out. And I'm tugging on them, and I'm very much feeling that they have rooted, which is exactly what you want. If you can slip these out without any resistance, give them more time. But like these, they're in there pretty good. As you can see, there's no way I can pull those out without doing serious damage to them. They're rooted well. So what we're going to do with these is pot them up. And on that same day, I did a pot of lavender. Exact same technique as the rosemary. Same day, same everything. And as you can see, when I pull on these, I've also taken. So we're going to check these out as well and see if we can pot these up. So because I've gotten a little obsessed with this whole taking cuttings, making new plants from cuttings, propagation thing, I already did a bunch of rosemary a bunch of weeks back. And so these are some of those that have been growing on for probably about 2 months now. And as you can see, that's a pretty happy, healthy looking rosemary plant. And there's 2 more here that are looking really good. And then I've got a whole bunch more on the table. So potting these up is really straightforward. There's a video on the channel of me potting up some sage cuttings. So this is the same idea as this, but what we're going to do is I'm going to take this pot, I'm going to really gently turn it out on a tray, and then you'll see the roots exposed on the outside of the pot. And then we're going to gently break each individual plant out of this clump of soil and roots, and those are going to get gently put into a new individual cup potting pot like this with some fresh potting growing mix, and then we'll let them grow on. So I've got my potting up station set up here, tray for when I knock this pot out so that the dirt doesn't go everywhere, and then 7 of these little pots filled about halfway, filled about halfway with my potting mix. And I use a potting mix made by a company called Jolly Gardener, but whatever kind of potting mix you prefer, you use. I just like this one. And so what we're going to do is going to take this pot here, I'm going to gently knock it out here on my tray and see how things look. So as you can see, beautiful roots coming off those rosemary cuttings. So I'm going to lay this down on my tray and really gently break them apart, pot them up in my little pots up here.
Be very gentle when you're doing this and try not to touch the roots as they're easily damaged. Don't push the roots into the soil, instead just hold the plant gently and fill the soil in around the roots. This way the roots will have lots of space to grow and will suffer minimal stress in the transplanting process.
So it really is as simple as that. Now all I gotta do is water these in really well, keep them watered, keep them in the greenhouse, make sure I label them, and then give it a few months and hopefully they'll be really, really happy, well-established rosemary plants that we can plant out in the garden either late this fall or in the spring. So with our lavender cuttings, which have been growing the exact same amount of time as our rosemary, I'm going to do the exact same thing as I just did with the rosemary cuttings. Gently break them apart, put them in fresh potting mix in little individual pots, make sure, water them in well, make sure I label them and let them grow on for a while before we stick them in the garden. Most likely the lavender is going to stay in the greenhouse all winter, and then we'll plant them out in the spring. Let me know what you think in the comments. Please don't hesitate to ask any questions. And if you like what we're doing here, you enjoy our videos, you get value from them, please consider subscribing. Thanks so very much. See you next time. I just love this so much, being able to create new plants from existing plants. It just gives you an unlimited amount of plants to fill your garden with for free. Just a little bit elbow grease, potting mix, pots, that sort of stuff, which at the end of the day is a lot cheaper than buying rosemary plants, lavender plants, or any of the other amazing things we've got growing in this greenhouse here. So, hope you guys try this. Let me know if you do. Good luck.